French President Emmanuel Macron is heading into a pretty high-stakes election showdown with a familiar political opponent. After a first-round vote yesterday, President Macron is set to compete in a runoff against far-right leader Marine Le Pen, known for her close ties, by the way, to Vladimir Putin. Joining us now with more on this very close race, ABC News' Inés de la Cuetara. She's tracking the latest from Paris for us. Inés, good to see you. You know, France's presidential election showing this is definitely a nation drifting toward two very different political extremes. Briefly explain what exactly happened yesterday in the first round.
Hey, Carrie. Yeah, so French President Emmanuel Macron will face Marine Le Pen, who is a far-right candidate, in a second runoff election. So the way the system works in France, there are two rounds to the election. The first round is essentially meant to kind of narrow the field. So if no one candidate gets more than 50% of the vote, then the top two contenders move on to a second runoff election. And that's what happened here. So yesterday, French President Macron got roughly 27% of the vote. Le Pen got about 24% of the vote. And so the two will face off in a second runoff election later this month.
And this isn't the first time, as you mentioned, that Macron and Le Pen are going head-to-head. What's the difference, you think, between this election compared to 2017?
Yes, I mean, they're a lot closer. So in 2017, you're right, it was Macron versus Le Pen. Macron won that election in a landslide. But the feeling is that he may not be so lucky this time around. So Le Pen getting 24% of the vote, this first round, that's the most votes she's ever received as part of a first round of an election. So could be an indication of the kind of support that she has. And France is facing a tough time right now. There's high inflation. Macron has had a difficult term. He's had to deal with COVID, with war. So there is a feeling that, Le Pen stands a real chance here.
And, she is a longtime admirer of Vladimir Putin. This is what is concerning so many people on the world stage. She wants to pull the European Union's only nuclear power out of NATO. So what could this mean amid war in Ukraine?
Yeah, so real concerns about what it could mean. I mean, Le Pen, like you say, is someone who is not as supportive of things like the European Union, of things like NATO. She's also voiced opposition to sanctions, saying that sanctions are actually hurting French citizens more than they are hurting the Russians. So, she could decide to pull France out of some of those sanctions. And we know that, in talking about that, she's, of course, referring to high inflation in the economy. And French citizens are very concerned about the economy right now. That's part of what gave Le Pen such a boost in the last few weeks. So it could be, again, an indication of things to come. It could be that voters, because of inflation, are going to decide to vote for Le Pen. But it would have some real, implications for the international community.
Well, we will be paying close attention. Our Inés de la Cuetara there in Paris for us. Inés, thanks.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.